I'm going to take the sound off because that sound is very annoying. I don't know what's happening to the whistle, but for context for people to understand that gerrymandering is legal as hell now. And speaking of the South, we are joined with Comrade Dust James, who is from North Carolina. So I definitely love to hear his take on this. Alex Suarez will be here real soon. Dust James, we're talking about what took place in Tennessee and Alabama. Alabama definitely rushed while there was a tornado warning. I think a tornado did touch down. And Tennessee literally, you have these politicians here. They're just putting their finger, their thumbs up. They're so excited. And then I saw one video. Let me see if I can find that video. The reaction is crazy. I saw one video of them, laughing at their constituents, the ones who they just took their voting. Here it is, the ones they just took their voting rights away from, laughing at them. And it's going to pop up, so I'm just waiting for it to pop up. StreamYard is a little overwhelming sometimes, but here we are. Boom. Okay. And now we're waiting for that video to pop up. Dust, how's it going? This is my friend Phil. We're just waiting for the video.
Hey, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm driving. I got
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, they're just literally being assholes. This guy right here has a Trump flag, wearing it like he's Superman. You know what I mean? This is how they respond to knowing that they literally took voting rights. Like we can't get black Democratic leaders in office. This is literally showing how much they want to keep it white dominance. So I don't understand why people are still trying to use this system to fight the system. It's time for a total responsible revolution, in my opinion. And overdue, because this is just going to happen everywhere. It's legal now. It's gerrymandering. The Supreme Court allows it.
Right, and I think what I'd emphasize there is in the U.S., voting is a privilege. It's not a right.
Yep.
Anything that we've gotten in relation, anything valuable that we have in relation to voting was never given to us. Anything half valuable in relation to voting that we have is the product of people struggling, working class and oppressed people struggling to snatch it from billionaires. And billionaires realizing, you know what? It's a good time to let them have this. They fought for it, they got it. And it's not as important for us to give it, to snatch it back from them at this moment. But right now is a very important moment for them to snatch these rights away. It's favorable for them. They have the capacity to do it. It's logistically, possible for them to do it, right? And so I totally agree, because even though I say that, right, I say that to recognize and the value of the liberatory tiny little kernel in that voting system. The liberatory part is not their structures whatsoever. The liberatory part is that when you say political, right, when you talk about politics, when you talk about change, the first place that our people, the majority of our people, go right now, they think about voting. They think about when you say change makers, they think about congressmen or senators and presidents, right? And that's not the liberatory part. The liberatory part is our people associate something with change. That just means that we got to be where the people are and be like, okay, but what about the day after? And my cat, little Bobby Blackings is joining us. But when that just means we gotta be where our people are and say, oh, you going to go vote for Congress? What are you doing the day after you vote? Come get involved, right? It means that we have to be where our people are and engage them in conversation. Where when our people are upset right now in the South, our comments have to meet them there. We can't just say, as I've seen some folks say, it was a failed project from the beginning. You were never going to get anything like that. Just get over it. We have better things to worry about. Of course, we do have bigger things to worry about as well. But when our when our people rightfully are upset about such an attack on their rights, we have to be there to say, you know what else is an attack on your rights? Sending your money to Israel.
Yep.
You know what else is an attack on your rights? Funding these billionaires. I don't attack. You know what else is an attack on your rights? Medical care is being taken away from these trans kids. We have to make sure we draw the connections, connect the dots between everything. That's why one example. Last thing I'll say, and I'm from the Bronx. Right now, the party in the Bronx, we're running in a congressional campaign. Not because we are so inspired by the bourgeois democratic model.
Right.
That it is an opening to engage with our neighbors in the way that they know politics to work, or that they expect politics to work. It's an opportunity to present leadership in the way that they are most familiar with leadership. It's an opportunity to bring people into ongoing struggle, regardless of what happens in election season. From the Bronx with Andre Easton to California with Ramsey Robertson, to Massachusetts with Joe Chache. We engage in these because that's where the people are, and we're gonna bring people with us regardless of what happens. Same with voting.
Yeah, so important. James, I'd love to hear your because I know that you're in the South, you're in North Carolina right now. Is there any redistricting being proposed as well too in North Carolina?
I haven't been following that, but it's not a new problem. It's a problem that's been going on a long time. Essentially, the governments, particularly the county governments and state governments, particularly along the Black Belt South, are highly gerrymandered to the point of being illegitimate. Illegitimate, even fascist governments, if you take in the police states. And the level of poverty and repression and the lack of rights that exist.
By the way, I made it. You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I made it, comrade.
Welcome,
Nice to see Dust. I haven't seen Dust in a while. Nice to see you.
Hey, nice to see you, brother. We have a fascist police state in the South, and it's illegitimate. It's obviously the black population is basically kept from voting. Not just gerrymandering, and then the immigrant population, it remains undocumented and with little process, even though they've been here for years and years. So and they do the voting on a Tuesday, and they don't publicize it, and local decisions are made by county governments that people don't pay attention to.
In Tennessee, they locked out a black lawmaker from going in where they were making decisions to erase Memphis. Like, there's literally no district of Memphis anymore. It's a black majority city in Tennessee, and they lost that. They redistricted that, and one of the lawmakers who represented that district, an African American, they literally locked him out. They had everything behind closed doors. Since this corrupt Supreme Court decision, it's completely decimated what little democracy we have left. We're turning into a full fascist state.
Yeah. Phil, this is Alex Flores, my co-host.
Nice to meet you, comrade.
Phil is the one I was telling you about, Alex, that was a part of the flotilla for Cuba.
Excellent. That's a country I've been to. I've been to Venezuela as well. I flew to Cuba, but going on a flotilla would be something very exciting to take part in here.
I did also fly. The flotilla arrived at the end, but they were also part of the international conference.
That's great. It was all part of the same effort,
Yeah.
There's crucial medicine that Americans need right now that the Cubans have invented that because of this embargo, we don't have access to. A lot of people talk about the embargo in terms of it hurting the Cuban people, which it does. It hurts them more than anybody. But despite those obstacles, they've made incredible advances in medicine. And there's medicines that we need as Americans right now for years that we can't go down there and get access to because of the stupid embargo.
Yeah. And you know also when about the South as well too. Actually I just realized on
I
this
live in the
panel
South
right
too,
now we
man.
got
Exactly the same.
2 people from the South and 2 people from the North. Like it's like
Oh, where's Phil
best of
at?
America.
So, so I'm in
Phil, where
Connecticut
you
right
at?
now. I'm in
Oh,
Connecticut
okay.
right now.
Connecticut as well.
I'm
Okay,
from
like
New
Jamar.
York, but I
Okay,
got roots. My family got roots in Arkansas, so
there you
Yeah,
you
go. That's
know.
what's
yeah. My,
up. I've been to
my
West
family in North
Memphis.
Carolina.
I actually been to West Memphis, which is in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So I know Memphis, Tennessee,
Mhm.
West Memphis. It's just really sad to see, like immediately after this the corrupt Supreme Court decision, that they're going after what little democracy we have left.
Yeah, yeah.
If I could
And
add,
yeah, go ahead.
if I could add, just to connect that. While I was in Cuba, you know, seeing the effects of not, them not getting any oil for, since December to March, and seeing the effects of a 60-year long blockade. So all I can think about is I was in Arkansas in January, and the rundown in Arkansas not because of a blockade, not because of a
Right,
blockade, not because of no embargoes,
right.
X Y Z. It's run down as a policy decision. And I was like, in Cuba, they are guaranteed. We went to the bakeries to see where they get like, they make thousands of pieces of bread for folks, right? People are guaranteed one piece a day, and some people may say, well, that's not a lot. And I say, well, in Arkansas, nobody's guaranteed a piece of bread a day. Nobody's guaranteed no education, no health care, or X, Y, Z. And being there, all I can think about is my family in the South, and my family all across the place. Really deep revolution. The South Revolution. You
Absolutely.
Right.
know, and it's Jamar, you were mentioning before, the system has taking the mask more and more off, and it's terrible. That terribleness, we have a huge responsibility to point out to our people and say, you see that monster? You see how this backward system has laid its body across the earth?
It's by
We
design, yeah.
could, right, let's strike it in the South. Let's strike it in the North. Let's get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there's a
Um,
history of resistance and insurgency in the South. Dust is an expert on that. He can tell you
yeah,
more about that. In North Carolina and other parts of the country, we might need a reemergence of that because a lot of the poverty in the country, again, is by design, systemic. It's not that people are naturally lazy, but because of the capitalist system, it's imposed on the population, on the oppressed nations.
hmm
And they don't want us to know the example of other countries. Like they want to prevent Americans from going into those countries. That's part of the reason why there's an embargo in place. Because when we see that what they do with so little, how resourceful they are, how their social system is, we're going to want to apply that here at home, especially in the South. And they don't want us to know that. You know.
yeah. And when you think about Chris Small's case, we need so
Oh,
many different Chris Smallses. He got arrested at the Met Gala after they put on the
he was beaten
projector.
up as well. They beat him up.
Yeah, they
He
yeah
was
they
surrounded
beat
by
him
like
up.
20 white cops. Yeah, Chris Smalls.
Do
That's
I
another
have
hero.
that
He was
video? I'm gonna
down.
find it.
Yeah.
Because Amazon's all over the country, right? There's Amazon
Yeah, and he's still a
headquarters
labor leader for Amazon too. But
everywhere,
Amazon retaliated against him. They were using the cops at that event to beat him up. Yeah, arrest him.
and they and I did love how they put on the projector so many testimonies from so many Amazon workers, which was just so amazing. And I think him going up to the Met Gala, people were like, "Oh, maybe he should have waited," or no,
He
go
was
up there,
exposing those
go up
elites,
there.
the struggle, man. I love that. He was exposing those elite people, like this is the struggle that Amazon workers are going through. You know.
Right, right, right. But for perspective, Dust, I wanted to ask you as well too, you know, what is one good labor story for the South that you could tell us that you haven't told us before, actually,
Well,
because it's been a while since you've been on here, and I would love to hear from you about this because it's such a really good conversation, and we got a nice audience too, so y'all better listen and learn.
maybe I'll preface it with a response to, I believe, a great comment the comrade Phil made earlier. And he said about voting rights. only it's a privilege. The only reason we have it is because we fought for it. I think that extends to all aspects of society. For working class and oppressed people, everything good we have isn't because of the state. It isn't because we're Americans. It is because working class and oppressed people organized, fought, and died for it. It's the only reason why we have it. And the only reason why it's not getting worse faster now is because there are people who are still organizing and fighting for everything we have and to keep everything we have. Specifically in North Carolina, there's been a movement since 2006 with the immigrant revolt against draconian laws, and May Day is coming back to the United States. We have the teachers in North Carolina and the North Carolina Educators Association. We have such backwards labor laws. Teachers are not even allowed to have unions officially, and they're not allowed to go on strike. But we have the association, which is a union in formation, and they unofficially went on a 6 strike on May 1st during a school day, and they shut down the majority of the progressive school districts. In my rural district where my son was going to school, we had no such luck. But where the Educators Association, they went on a 6 strike, and they were able to shut down several of the more progressive districts. I think another recent, it's not specifically the South, but more the West, and Greeley, Colorado, majority immigrant workers, Haitian workers, Latin American workers went on strike for several weeks, from the biggest strikes in the country, and they won. And they got enough demands to go back, and things are happening, and even if you don't see it, even if you get discouraged, people are fighting. You got to go find them people.
Yep. Please, guys, this is what I want. That's why I said, we got a good crowd here watching. Got like